This is the end.
I'm gonna restart that. Wrong one again.
This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again.
Shanda, here we are. Did Trump actually put that up on his site?
Trump tweeted that bomb song out. I'm not even kidding.
What, is he channeling John McCain or what?
He's a sick fuck. I don't know. Who could imagine we'd have a president that would be making fun of dropping bombs in another country? But we have one.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, along with a bunch of other stuff he's got going on. But aren't they all a little sick? They have to be a little off in the head to be president to start with, right?
Oh, yeah. All of the G7ers are fucked up and sick. Sick in the head.
Son?
You're looking very James Bondy tonight.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Chris Algier said you and I should star in the next James Bond movie. So
yeah, as long as our AIs can do it, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
Amazon can pay me for that.
I can sit here and,
everybody knows Amazon's got some money. We've been seeing it getting blown all weekend. We're going to talk about it because it was the wedding of the fucking century is what they're calling it.
Was that 50 million or 34 million? I saw it.
55 million so far is what we've heard.
And
she had 30 million worth of diamonds on alone.
Somebody said that there were 90 private jets that flew into that airport.
Yeah. We're gonna cover it a little bit tonight, and then I got a big section on Monday. So yeah, there's lots of gossip to talk about when it comes to the Bezos wedding of the century.
So much for my carbon footprint then.
Yeah, pussy galore. Yeah. Does that make Shanda octopussy or pussy galore?
Yeah,
we're gonna say octopussy.
Octopussy, I like that. I like that, and I'll be the guy in Goldfinger that got Odd Job Dude. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've just put the sunglasses on for an effect. I can't call out everybody with these on, so I'm going to take these off, and I've got my blue blockers on here. You two looking smooth as criminals. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, I was, I wasn't a sweet
Jack's
guy
Page.
my whole life, but I never did
Jack.
anything that, that I really would regret. So
I never did anything I got caught for. I'll say that. Jack's page is hanging out over on the Rumble. Jack says, "Hey there, I'm having trouble sending super chats on YouTube, so dropping it here. Thanks for all you do. Much love and respect." Jack's page, much love to you.
Thanks, Jax. Thank you. Conspiratorial Kate is in the house. Lady Alex is in the house. We are so glad you're here tonight, Lady Alex. We got a surprise for you. And yes. Popeye the Sailor is in the house. Fred Edward, what's going on? Our network master. We have Cold Fusion Gaming. Who is that guy? Chris Algier, thank you for the super chat.
That guy is incredible.
We appreciate it so much, so much. Natalie Williams, what's going on, Natalie? Natalie, thanks for the post about the pineal gland. And yes, I have a 14 millimeter pineal gland in my head. I just, like Shandon named her tumor Terry, I haven't named my pineal gland cyst. I need to name it. If you guys come up with a good name.
Name it so you can kill it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, in order to get rid of my pineal gland, they're going to have to bore a hole in the back of my head and go into my brain about 4 inches. Not too keen on doing that. That's not my goal in life to have that done, but so far I've still got my marbles, so I guess everything's working, kind of, sort of.
You got an extra one, it sounds like.
Yeah, I got an extra marble. Mastermind Hour, great to see you. Crone of Heresy, wonderful to see you. So much, so much. And we have, let me see, who else we got in here? We've got Crowbar the Skull. Wow, I've never been an ad mod before. How do I ban people?
Welcome.
Yeah. We just kind of like throwing wrenches. So
everybody gets a wrench here.
Everybody gets a wrench. Don't ban anybody if you can help it. Anthony, what's going on? And Kill Your Grey Growers. What's going on there? And let me see. Peace Dove is in the house. Peace Dove, what's going on? We've got Rad Angel is in the house. And we'll see who else we got. Did I call out everybody over here? There's so many people. They're chatty tonight, Shand. Chatty.
They're chatty.
Chatty. Let me see who
Cowboy
else
Kitty, what's up?
Cowboy Kitty. Steve G is in the house. What's going on, Steve? And let me see. I think Mouse SF is in the house. Got you, Mouse. Before I delegate it over to Shanda. Popeye, there you are, Popeye. Good to see you. I think I already shouted you out. Hard to keep up with some of them. The Empirine, what's going on, the Empirine? How good to see you. And let me see. I think we've got Shanda looks beautiful with the shorter hairstyle. I think she looks beautiful all the time.
I hate it, but thank you guys. It makes me feel a little better about it. But I can't wait for it to grow out. Like 3 times a week, I'm putting hair growth stuff in it. I got some hair growth stuff from a friend of mine for my birthday.
Who else are you going to shout out? A Dingo Ate Me Babies over there on Rumble. Do you have
Dingo and Ghost are hanging out with Jax over on the Rumble.
Live.
I'm writing down names because we're passing out cards all summer, so you have to tune in every Saturday night and see who gets a producer card.
We're taking next Saturday off.
We're taking next Saturday off because Raw Media is getting together for the 4th. I'm heading down to see Oz on Friday. Friday morning I'll head out. And thank you so much to Kate for the donation this morning to help me get down to the land of Oz. And Chiron, I don't see Chiron here, but Chiron sent me a GoFundMe this week. Thank you so much. Every little bit helps.
Yes, I appreciate that too. Every time you send something to Shanda, it fills my heart with joy. Thank you so much. Do you have anybody on TPP, or did you just call them out?
No, nobody's hanging out over there that's talking that I can see, but I do pull that. Sometimes it gets busy over at the trailer park, but today everybody's funneled into Beauty and the Boomer. So
weather's nice today for sure. We are streaming on Substack. Oz Unfiltered, if you'd like to go over there and just sign up. Don't send me any money over there. Just sign up. And Substack, our friend Indy over at Indie Media is helping us stream live over there, and we're hoping to build something at some point in time. So who else you got? Who else? Anybody else? Are we done with the intro?
I think we're done with the shout-outs.
Okay. Well, we're done with the shout-outs. We want to throw the old fair use in there because it is fair use. And,
fair use for whatever it's worth.
for whatever it's worth. We really do try and play by the rules, except for YouTube rules, because it doesn't do us any good. Show is satire, always satire. And Shanda, you've been sending out the Patreon religiously. If you'd like to become a patron, you can send it over to
We love our Patreons.
Shanda. We love our Patreons. And of course, here's the one. Here's the Buy Me a Coffee. If you'd like to send us $1 or $2. Shandis is on the left, Oz is on the right. It depends on how your screen orientation is. And that would be very, very helpful. And thank you to
I'm drinking
everybody
coffee
who
again, Oz. I'm
sent
drinking
me
lots of coffee. I went from drinking no coffee because I couldn't handle it to where now I drink like 4 or 5 cups a day.
Joey doesn't produce much coffee in the summertime. You'll probably just get tea on your visit. I hope that's okay with you.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's just a little too warm for coffee for her. So anyway, drum roll. We've got a big drum roll. Who do we have tonight?
Oh, yeah, we need to add a drum roll to our thing. We have Lady Alex. Lady Alex is being honored as associate producer this week. Thank you so much for all your love and support, anti-war. Lady Alex took that picture in the background of that sunset. What a beautiful picture. Lady Alex, we appreciate you. We appreciate all of you for all of your years of support. And yeah, every week we're rolling out new names. You saw me writing down names. Yeah, we've got lists and lists of names. So.
And you honor us by allowing us to put these cards up for you. Like Shanda says, we're going to be adding producer cards because the little scrolly thing just gets kind of lost in distraction. So we do run that, and I'm working on running a better one at some point soon because I'm learning how to use DaVinci even more, as you could tell in our intros. Did you like that intro, that Skyfall intro?
I love that intro. That was a great intro. Great AI. Yeah, definitely. You're getting really good with it. And, you know, we like to use music to close and open our shows. So it's a good time to honor you guys because you've been so supportive of us over the years. So
yeah, absolutely.
We like to make these cards. If you don't like your card, if you don't like anything about your card, you can always, you have creative, control. Just get a hold of us and we'll revise it, add whatever you want to it. I see more names. I got to write down names. I have a whole list of names.
Jilly is in the house. Lawrence, fine. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, we're going to have this thing full of cards here by Christmas, and we're looking forward to that too.
Yes, we will.
There was a little bit of a uproar today, and did everybody see this in the chat? Did you see this today, Shanda?
I barely saw it. I saw it in glancing, you know.
I assume the guy's name is Bob Vylan. He's a rapper, and it was being broadcast live and on the BBC. And you remember the song Beth? I think Michael, or was that Kiss that did Beth? Beth, the song?
I think maybe, yeah. It might have been Kiss. Yeah.
Yeah. That was, anyway, I'm going to use Beth, but he was saying Beth, as in the name Beth, was Beth to Israel, Beth to Israel.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So yeah.
Unalive to Israel, you mean?
Yeah, you could say that, I guess.
That's the YouTube term for it. But the BBC, I'll clutch your pearls, BBC.
Yeah, don't clutch your fucking pearls.
Yeah, it's a BBC. What do you expect?
If this bothers you, take a look at all the absolute annihilated children these fuckers the IDF has been handing the world for the last God knows how long.
They've been in our feed again all week. Have you been seeing them? I saw so many videos today of blown up, martyred kids.
Yeah, martyred kids, families, whole families, torched, everything else. So the BBC, along with all of them, and particularly the Germany, you could fuck off. You're arresting people for hurting somebody's feelings. That would be Zionist.
Yeah.
Fuck
Germany,
off
you should
all the
fucking
way.
know better.
Fuck off. This is when this bothers you, a rapper saying that. Not that I'm inclined to say things about anybody like that, but I think the IDF has earned anything they get. Because they are monsters, and they are the world's monsters right now. So But
Chris
the
cracking me up with the chat says BBC can go suck a BBC. You guys figure it out.
Good job. Yeah. The BBC, the MSNBC, ABC's been really horrible as of late, too. CBS, of course. And, all the rest. And Fox, you're no angels either, you bunch of scumbags.
Oh,
You're
God,
all propaganda's networks. But anyway.
They go hardest for Israel, I think, at this point. Fox
Kudos to Bob Violin for having the guts to say it like it is. And we do not advocate anything that would cause somebody to be unalived on this show, but if there's anybody that deserves it, I'm sure we can pick out a few. So that's where we're at on that one. I don't want to stand on it too much because everybody's going to be talking about this for the next 2-3 days, would you say, Shanda?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the start of everything. You brought another Donald Trump here.
Well, we saw a ceasefire because when we took the air last Saturday, we had just bombed Iran, and we were all apprehensive about where it was going, anxious, a little anxiety. And then Trump came to the rescue and bartered and came up with a ceasefire, of course, by Tuesday. We let Iran hit one of our bases, an American base, on Monday, just so they could save face and tell their people that they retaliated, because we play these games at that fucking level. And then Trump tweets out, "Congratulations to everybody who's been in full agreement between Israel and Iran. There will be complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, and Israel and Iran have wound down they're completely in progress." So anyway, officially Iran started the ceasefire upon the 12th hour, and then Israel took the ceasefire upon the 24th hour. So Israel got to bomb for another 12 hours, just to get that extra little kick in there.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty normal,
did you believe it? Did you believe this was actually going to happen? I really thought that Israel would just do whatever the fuck they want, because they always do.
Well, they've been getting their nose bled for the last since the 13th. I mean, Iran's let them have it, as unfortunately they should, but they're the bully in the schoolyard in a big way, and the only way to stop a bully in a schoolyard is to take that bully down and not let him get away with that shit.
Like, to me, like they shut the fucking Iron Dome off. Like Sunday night and Monday night, I was questioning how they have the Iron Dome and they have us there shooting down what's coming in from Iran, because we were actively protecting Israel. How the fuck were so many of those missiles getting through, other than they wanted them to get through so that way the West would rise up, and it is propaganda. It's a way of, oh, look at us, we're being attacked. I kind of felt like they were doing it intentionally. They were letting some of those missiles come through and hit those residential apartment buildings in Israel and Tel Aviv. What do you think?
I'm with Snorky. I think the ceasefire is just a cautionary moment to pause and reload. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You heard Iran hack the Iron Dome mastermind? Could very well have been, but I felt like the Iron Dome was off because a lot of those missiles were getting through.
Well, if I would suggest to Iran that you just keep that missile stockpile growing, because Israel has never,
keep them coming, China.
In my mind, Israel has never stuck with the ceasefire. They've always violated by hundreds of times. And, I suspect, and I was telling Shanda in the green room, that I'm surprised they haven't started up again already. But something's going on with Trump. I think, when he came out and said this great deal, he asked for a ceasefire in the same, or not a ceasefire, but a Nobel Peace Prize at the same time. Is that was?
Yeah, but then they withdrew it. So they nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize, and then within 4 hours of the nominee, somehow it got withdrawn. So I don't know what the hell that was all about. But, Trump came out the very next morning in the video. I've got it on the next slide. And he told the press that he doesn't think Israel knows what the fuck it's doing. And those were his exact words. We had a president cussing at the press.
Yes, do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them.
You're Israel.
I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you understand that? Well, he didn't mince his words there.
Yeah, am I supposed to play this one in the corner too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, you know, as much as I don't think that's very presidential of him, but I really don't care with what everything that's going around. I'm not clutching my pearls at anything anymore because our world has turned into nothing but barbaric craziness, insanity. And once again, i.e. Gaza and some of these other things. As far as the Nobel Peace Prize, they give it to the likes of Obama?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Like, of
Obama?
course, he dropped bombs. They're going to give him a peace prize. That's what you got to drop bombs to get a peace prize. That's how it works.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll say it again. I think as far as having his shit together, Obama's probably one of the worst presidents we've had as far as pulling evil shit. And I would argue with anybody on that. I'm nonpartisan when it comes to my contempt and dislike for these goddamn oligarch puppets.
I came across a new conspiracy theory about so the CIA has all these programs, right? Like astral projection and stuff. So apparently Obama was a part of some space program where he was on Mars. Like, I'm going to have to cover it in my conspiracy section over on Trailer Park Pundit. It was mind blowing. Like, what?
Please do, because Snorky and I are having convulsions after you just said that. So
I'm not even kidding. Yes, he was on Mars. So Donald Trump says a fake news CNN together with failing New York Times has teamed up in an attempt to demean one of the most successful military strikes in history. The nuclear strikes in Iran are completely destroyed. Both the Times and CNN are getting slammed by the public. And of course, that is because CNN and all the fake news bullshit came out and pretty much said they didn't hit anything. They didn't destroy anything. They didn't even hurt anything, which I believe. I do believe that Iran knew and moved anything that they might have had that could have been hit. Like, I kind of think that they're not too far off, even though they are fake news.
Yeah, those were nuclear facilities that they hit, but it was a surface level hit, even though they dropped big fucking bombs on them. But from what I understand that I've heard is that they got a heads up way before they dropped the bombs on them. So.
But boy, this pissed them off. They were all, their panties were up in a wad. They were all, Pete was screaming and yelling about it. The press secretary was going off. They were all pissed off about fake news.
This is all to distract and divide the public. Once again, they're good at the propaganda, at those fake news, the propaganda networks. You can call them that. I think it's more accurate. Did I put this in, or did you put this in?
Oh, well, this is across the street from the White House. Now, this was on Sunday. This is a surface-to-air missile that was put in across the street from the White House to protect the White House. So aren't you glad we now have missiles camped out at the White House? And something else is going on at the White House. We woke up this morning to mass anti-scale barricades going up around the White House and the Treasury. Jack's Page says, oh, what the hell is this about? I guess we'll wait and see. Is something big about to come down? What the hell is this about?
They've got a bunch of protests scheduled for the summer. I checked into it a little bit.
for the 4th of July, I'm sure.
And thus is why they obviously needed the surface-to-air missiles, because the protests are going to come in on F-35s.
Nothing can be worse than when Amber and I went in 2020 and most of our capital was fenced off and there was armed fucking military all through DC. You couldn't even get close to any of our public sites without a guy with a big fucking weapon in your face.
Oh, so they saved it for that, not January 6th. Oh, I get
Yeah,
it.
apparently.
Okay, and you brought the best congressman in Washington, D.C.
Oh, God. Yeah. Lindsey Graham, he just fucking lives for this shit, doesn't he?
Yeah, I wish he would just go away. Here we go, Lindsey Graham.
Well, somebody had to replace McCain.
on Bonehead Hannity, on top of that, you brought a Hannity clip. Holy crap.
Afghanistan by destroying
You get a
Iran's
double
nuclear
banger.
facilities by using B-2 bombers, helping Israel, but delivering a decisive blow, which was bold and brilliant. President
Bold
Trump
and
let
brilliant.
every other adversary
Bold and
in the
brilliant.
world know Joe Biden doesn't live in the White House anymore. There's a new sheriff in town.
Oh, fuck off.
He's been
Christ.
strong. He's been measured. President Trump has. He wants peace, but it takes two people to have peace. So what would I say about the ceasefire? If the ceasefire is genuine and will lead to peace, it is a major league accomplishment. If the ceasefire is used to rearm and regroup by Iran, we've gone backwards. How can you determine the difference? I am tonight challenging the foreign minister of Iran to publicly say tomorrow, you have the night to think about it, that the Iranian regime no longer wishes to destroy the state of Israel. We've abandoned our policy of killing all the Jews. We recognize Israel as a legitimate sovereign nation entitled to live in the region in peace with the
that's
rest
their
of us.
policy, really.
If they will say that, that is a giant leap forward and may lead to peace through a ceasefire. If they can't say that, that probably tells you all you need to know.
Well, it's interesting because he tweeted out, as Iran has repeatedly made clear.
You know what? This guy couldn't challenge it. My chicken's out in the back. And on top of that, why doesn't he tell Israel, say, stop all attacks on other nations and stop slaughtering people in Gaza? Then we'll have a deal, you fucker.
That's never going to happen. You know
What a
that.
piece
For
of-
one, he's bought and paid for by freaking Israel. AIPAC owns his freaking.
Oh, yeah,
his
as they
soft
do
ass.
most of Congress, by the way.
Exactly.
So try and vote yourself out of this mess. It ain't going to happen because AIPAC owns your Congress. So
Democrats or Republicans.
Democrats
let's be
or
clear.
Republicans, and any Democrat that stumbles across this that wants to argue with a boomer, I'll wipe the fucking floor with them. So just buzz off. And by the way, who's your daddy, Shanda?
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easy to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a
Oh my
certain
God!
word.
I think you have
That
to
is
join
the
house.
chief of NATO.
Yeah, he's
That's the chief of NATO calling Trump daddy.
Daddy Trump. Oh my God! I think
Oh my God.
I'm getting excited, Shanda. I think I'm going to.
Obviously, they're excited.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, unusual whales breaking. Numerous U.S. politicians appear to have bought war stocks before the U.S. attacked Iran. Color me shocked! The U.S. Congressman Bob Brezhnehan bought SLMT, Lockheed Martin, a weapons manufacturer, on 5/15/25. Representative Jared Moskowitz bought SLMT on 4/7/25. The usual. And Marjorie Taylor Greene had something to say to AOC here. AOC's the president's disastrous decisions to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and the Congressional war powers. Well, yeah, she is correct on that. However, Marjorie Taylor Greene says, shut the fuck up, you pathetic little hypocrite. You fully supported our military and IC running a proxy war against Russia in Ukraine, and you voted to fund the Ukraine
Ooh.
war under your president with dementia. You don't get to play anti-war and moral outrage anymore. Why am I enjoying Marjorie Taylor Greene now?
I hate when MTG gets it right, and she's been getting it right all week, along with fucking Howdy Doody Matt Gaetz. I saw Jimmy Dore and Steph are inviting them on just to have a conversation, and you know, when you're right, and she's right about that. I'm gonna dump all over AOC and Fetterman for, you know, pretty much the same shit on Monday's show. So I got a good Trailer Park Finder wrote already.
Let them have it. But, you know, again, remember, everybody, this is all about distraction. These think tanks are the handmaidens of BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. They're going to do everything they can to mess with your brain and get you to hate your neighbor, no matter if it's in this country or another country. So beware. And,
you think they were tipped off, Oz, to buy those stocks? Like, oh, we got something big coming? I'm sure they were. Come on. Look at Pelosi and her fucking record.
I'm sure it was reinforced, and there's a lot more than that. Dems join GOP in a kill vote impeaching Trump over Iran strikes. House Democrats overwhelmingly joined with their Republican colleagues Tuesday, holding a vote to impeach Trump for striking Iran. What does that say at the end of it? Iranian nuclear sites unilaterally. Well, guess what? They just violated their oath of office. I don't give a shit what kind of lame-ass excuse. And people are saying, well, Joe Biden, Barack Obama did it too. Bomb, bomb, bomb. They all bombed. They should have been impeached too, fuckfaces.
Yeah, we've been calling for their impeachment. Look at this, though. 128 of them. 128 Democrats. Where the fuck are the anti-war Democrats? There isn't one that fucking exists that's been elected.
No, and Washington State, the usual suspects. You've got this thing that we've got down in the third, Marie Goolsbee Perez. And then, of course, Adam Smith, who is owned by... Is he even on this list, or is this Congress? He's senator, isn't he? No, he's Congress. Smith, where the hell
Congress.
is he? Yeah, there he is. Smith, Washington. Yep. You know, he's a war pig, and he's
Larson.
the one that he's Larson. Yeah. Let me finish with Adam Smith real quick. Adam Smith,
and then we can call Larson too.
Shama Sawant is running against Adam Smith, and I've had this discussion with our friends, several of our friends. And although they say it doesn't matter if Shama gets in there because she's going to end up caving and doing similar things, I don't necessarily believe it 100%, but possibly because I've been so let down, starting with fucking Crooked Bill, and then then we had Crooked Obama. And so I'm not going to argue that point. But what I am going to argue with is the fact that I just want to get these fuckers out. Just kick them out, and then we'll deal with a new one, whoever they may be. And in this case, I'd rather be dealing with Shama Sawant than a weapons industry-owned tool who is a piece of shit beyond God. Rick Larson, he's a dum-dum. All he does, he doesn't even make a lot of money. He doesn't, that I've seen. He doesn't invest in stocks and everything else. He just cruises along, gets his check and his bonuses and everything else. He could be making bank, and I don't know why he isn't, or he's probably just too dumb.
Oh, he is. He's just hiding it. I saw a post that I made, I don't know, like 9 years ago, and I was at a state dinner, and I stayed until Larson started talking, and then posted, I lost my appetite when Larson started talking, and I paid like, I don't know, a couple $100 for this plate, because you pay by the plate, right? And I got up and walked out of this big banquet because I couldn't handle listening to Larson.
Larson is like, those old vending machines. You just put a nickel in, and the lady would tell your fortune. She'd tell your fortune. That's Rick Larson. The guy is a dumbass, and I could wipe the floor with the guy. Honest to God, he's so stupid. But that's just my opinion. And then there's Hakeem Jeffries, who, who's he working for? Isn't he like a foreign agent, or don't you become a foreign agent?
They're all foreign agents. Every single fucking one of them is a foreign agent.
Yeah. So this House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, when asked by reporters about Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey's resolution to invoke the War Powers Act, he said he hadn't had time to look at it. Let that sink in. After the President of the United States bombed 3 of Iran's nuclear sites without congressional approval, he didn't have time to look at a resolution meant to rein in his administration. This is an abdication of leadership and a violation of his oath of office once again, and that's a fact that can be argued all day long. And don't give me this War Powers Act bullshit. Only Congress can declare war, period. That's it. And I like this graphic. I put this in today. This is a little add-on here. Do you like that graphic, or is it too insulting? What stupid wall in Israel? American politicians licking the wall, and then Americans as priests and nuns in the background. Are you fucking kidding me?
Every
Whatever.
single one of them is lick the damn wall.
Yeah.
Except for RFK. Or JFK. He's the only one that didn't want to go and fucking kiss the goddamn ass of Israel.
Yeah, this one I didn't put it in the Fee Says because, she already has 2 in there, and I don't want to, do it too many. But Fiorella Isabel, the Department of Homeland Security is giving $94 million in grants to Jewish orgs to combat anti-Semitism. In other words, they're giving $94 million to protect Zionists from being held accountable for the Holocaust they're supporting. And, of course, Oz perked right up, and high five Fiorella on that. I have to tell you, remember everybody, this anti-Semitism shit started way before the October 7th. They've been trying to do this a long time, so they've just been teeing this all up and getting it ready, oiling it, getting it ready to roll out.
Since I was young, as far back as I can fucking remember, it was don't ever
Well, if
put a negative connotation against the Jews, you're anti-Semitic.
You will agree, Shanda. We've in the 6 months before this shit really started, Gaza and everything, they were ramping up the anti-Semitism stuff. I specifically remember that, and I thought something's going on. What are they going to do? And if I would have just thought about it a little bit more, I would have said, "Oh, well, that's it. Go figure." But
go figure.
Yeah, that's where we're at on that. So critical thinking skills still very, very important in America, but they're not being taught in school. Did you bring this drop site one with Van Jones?
The big nothing burger himself says CNN Van Jones urges progressives to get on board with bombing Iran. I think progressives underestimate how dangerous Iran is. Iran is not a normal country, he said on the air. Jones did not share whether he considers Israel an apartheid state currently committing genocide or a normal country. Of course not.
Of course not. And we're sharing a brain again. These poor buffaloes can't fly anymore because people keep eating their wings. Yeah, that's about the level we've got with AOC. I see you and I shared a brain on that.
We share a brain.
Yeah, you brought the Vigilant Fox here, I think.
The Vigilant Fox says it's not every day a major politician sits down with Joe Rogan. Bernie Sanders sits down, and now we know why most of them skipped the invitation. Yeah, we know why Harris didn't go on board because Joe Rogan fucking dropped some facts on Bernie Sanders, and I didn't watch the whole thing. What I did watch was pretty painful to fucking watch. I mean, Bernie shilling, lying, evading, avoiding, and Joe Rogan smacking him around with facts and truths, and it was kind of fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, and to watch Bernie defending CBS in the lawsuit and these other ones, the ABC one and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
that it's corruption. It was campaign tampering, everything else that was happening, and Rogan just held him to task on that. I think that kind of helped people see what a fucking shill Bernie
Well, you know what I heard from Bernie, basically, when he was defending that shit, was they had done the same thing to him. You could almost hear it in his voice that, well, what are you going to do when they come to you and they say that they're going to sue you and blah, blah, blah. Like, you could just hear that had happened to Bernie. Sinead, thank you so much. Just sending love. Super chat over on the YouTubes. We appreciate
thank
the
you,
love,
Sinead.
and we're sending it back.
We are sending it back. And again, it's Bernie's ridiculous.
Rogan is a big bore. I agree. I don't like Rogan like I used to. Like 2016 through 20, Rogan, fucking loved him. That's when he was still up and coming, and but now Rogan, nah, not the same. Not since he got bought out by Palantir.
Yeah, no, I take him or leave him. I like Joe Rogan. I like his wrestling commentary or his boxing commentary better. But when he does, because so few of them do, except for him and
Right.
Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, some of them, they really put the screws to these lying fuckers. And I will remind you again, and I offer any Democrat that wants to, or anybody that wants to defend Bernie Sanders, bring it on, and I'll mop the floor with you too. Sorry, and I'm not that good at it. Well, actually, I'm decent. Anyway, give this
Thanks for
this
the
a listen
donation
here.
this week.
Here we go.
Okay.
This is a short one.
You know, Israel was attacked by Hamas. Hamas is a terrible terrorist organization. They killed 1,200 people, which in a small country like Israel is a lot of people. Terrible, terrible attack. It's a war crime. Israel had a right, in my view, to defend itself.
Okay. Had a right to defend itself. So he was basically saying, this translation, Israel had a right to commit genocide. That's what he's saying. That's what Bernie Sanders is saying. You want to argue with me? Go right ahead. You'll lose every time. Bernie Sanders.
Well, he goes on to say it's not cool that they're starving them, and
He tries to qualify.
He talks
his
out
shit.
both sides of his face,
Both
like he
sides of
always
his
fucking
face.
does. Yeah, and I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth with it on Monday. I've got.
I'll
few
let
more
you have
clips
it
we'll
then.
go
I'm not going to
over.
read this one from the Fox, but yeah, you do that on Monday because
I've got a great show already. I mean, you watched me build it today. I've got a great show going for Monday, so we're gonna cover a lot of this.
Yeah, you were
go a little bit deeper.
busy bee today on your show. You brought this one.
I did.
ABC, the so-called American broadcast company, drop the act. You've been long abandoning any allegiance to the American people. You peddle propaganda, shield power, and betray truth daily. Stop insulting us with the word American in your name. Call yourselves what you are, Zionist broadcasting crap. In your name, call yourself what you are, Zionist broadcasting crap. The ZBC suits you far better. Far better. We're counting the days till you're off the air and out of our mind. You have earned irrelevance. And, oh, God, I wrote that. I don't remember, but I did. This is mine. I apologize, Shanda. I'm losing my marbles. Anyway, ABC journalist fired for posting human rights report about Gaza beats the mainstream media in court. Annette Lutoff was fired by the corporate media outlet after she posted a Human Rights Watch report about Gaza on social media. On her social media. So fuck all the way off. Here she is, and she's a sharp one, and I'm glad she won.
In December 2023, I shared a Human Rights Watch post because Human Rights Watch found that Israel was using starvation as a weapon of war in Gaza. It is now June 2025, and Palestinian children are still being starved. We see their images every day, emaciated, skeletal, scavenging through the rubble for scraps. This unspeakable suffering is not accidental, it is engineered. Deliberately starving and killing children is a war crime. Today the court has found that punishing someone for sharing facts about these war crimes is also illegal. I was punished for my political opinion. I won't be taking any questions. I'll have what to say in due time. Thank you.
Good for her.
Fuck you, press. I'm not
Yeah.
going to take any questions from you. You're the ones who punished me. Fuck yeah.
So that's the Zionist Broadcasting
That's the
Company,
win.
and most of them are owned by some Zionist relic out there. Now, did you bring this one? You brought this one, I think, because I don't bring what's his Destiny for nothing.
I did bring this. Fee's going off on him. Meanwhile, grade A grifter advises the Israeli offense forces, like I said, pedos and the lot. Yeah, check this out. Destiny hanging out with the IOF.
I think Israel has unique issues. Here's the one piece of advice I'll give you, okay? If you're joining the IDF, okay? Leave your fucking cell phone at home and stop taking stupid fucking videos, okay? Because everybody's fucking you with them, okay? And if you see a soldier, okay, going through a fucking drawer, and listen, if you want to fucking wear a dress and you think it's funny, just don't fucking take a fucking video picture of it, okay? Jesus. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So you could be a disgusting piece of shit. Just stop recording it because everybody sees it, and it's not a good look for you.
Yeah, that's great advice coming from obviously a Zionist scumbag, Destiny, who shouldn't even be allowed or be platformed on anything. So I'll forgive you for this tonight.
Oh, come on. He's a CIA op. We all freaking know it.
He's a piece of shit is what he is. You brought this one as well.
America being drafted. Oh, this is Gen Z being drafted to fight. This is AI.
I'm on the streets of America where Gen Z males are being drafted into the U.S. Army to fight in the upcoming war against Iran.
This sissy generation don't know which damn bathroom to use, but by God, they'll know which trench to die in.
Come on, son, it's time for us to all go sacrifice ourselves for Israel. While we stay here and keep running the banks, these brave sons of America are gonna fight for us. I need my emotional support, Faith, bro.
I'm actually exempt because my dad's a congressman. But, like, I support the troops from the Hamptons.
Wait, there's no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, what's the password? They didn't even let me bring my trauma journal.
Get us burned.
Fascism.
Yeah, you can kill it.
Actually, it's they/them, Sergeant. Please respect my pronoun.
Background. Hopefully you didn't play enough to get us burned. Yeah. Damn it, I hate when they add music to the back of those because some of them are really fucking funny. That one was really funny. Come on, let's face it, Gen Z is soft. We can't send Gen Z off to war. They won't know what the fuck hit them.
Send those to me. I can get covers and put the cover in the
you can
background.
cover it up. I should have realized that. Destiny bores the living hell out of me. Always predictable and always grifting. Willie Braggs, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for the super chat.
You know what, Willie? I
agree.
That brings to mind. I wanted to give Breaking Points a shout out on that note. They bore the shit out of me too. They bore the shit out of me.
They're still on?
They're still on, yeah. They're still
on.
Crystal's face has been a little twisted up lately, and I'm not commenting about her looks. She just looks a little disgruntled as of late, and I don't know.
She needs to just go to the Kardashians' frickin' surgeon. She'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll work. What do you got here?
Oh, this is a little truth about the Israel of the Bible is not the Israel that we have shoved down our fucking throats every damn day. And I absolutely, as a Christian woman, I absolutely agree with this.
Yeah, who knew? Here we go.
The Israel in the Bible is not the same Israel as today. And I know what you're thinking, and you're already jumping into conclusions, but hear me out. People are over here fighting and debating over a misunderstanding of what Israel actually means. They think that the modern Israel is the same as the Israel God promised in the Bible. It's not. In the Bible...
Shit. Let me go back here.
You're pushing buttons.
Yeah.
The Israel in the Bible, God literally fought him all night long. And after that, God changed his name to Israel, which means he struggles with God. Second, Israel became a nation. Jacob's 12 sons became the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. But hear this out. They were not chosen because of their land. They were chosen because of God's promise. The nation of Israel existed under kings like David and Solomon. But guess what? They lost their land. They were exiled because they turned away from God. Fast forward today, Israel was founded in 1948 as a political state. But that's not the same as biblical Israel. It's not ruled by biblical law. Not everyone there is a descendant of the 12 tribes. And the land does not define God's people. Faith does. So when people think that defending modern day Israel is the same as defending God's chosen people, no, you're missing the whole point of scripture. God's Israel was never about land, but about a relationship with him.
Exactly.
Why is this important, Oz? As somebody, since I faced my mortality, I gotta say I've been a little bit more. I've become closer to my faith, right?
Okay.
And so I've been doing a lot more studying of the Holy Book than I ever probably did when I was younger. And the biggest takeaway I get from this is so many Christian Americans just rank and file get behind because they think the second coming of Christ is not going to happen until all of the prophecies of Israel come true. But it's very clear, especially if you read some of the Old Testament, that the Jews were worshiping a different God. They were worshiping Satan. They were worshiping, Moloch and the Baphomet, and a lot of them still do. And it's not the same. It's not the same. But that's what's leading us into this. People are like, why does America just blindly support Israel? And it's because we are a Christian Zionist nation. And that's where the Zionism comes into. And then so unless you really understand, some of what's going on in the Bible, you really don't understand what the hell is going on right now.
Well, they've been socially conditioning us for
decades.
They
have been since birth, since they entered the church. Yeah, exactly. And, and I'm not one of those church thumping, type of because they've all been co-opted. They've all of these
one way or another. Yeah.
Exactly.
Some of them have their, their priorities like pedophilia and things like that.
So. Exactly. I mean, I'm a holy roller. I'm an Assembly of God snake charmer type of religion. That's how I was raised.
I'm going to stick to my paganism and keep petting Bambi, if that's okay.
Yeah, don't pet snakes.
What is this? Did you bring this or did I bring this?
I want to say this is Putin. Is this Putin?
Probably.
Yeah, pretty sure this is Putin. And Putin loves Israel just as much as the next.
I deeply respect the current American president. He's traveled a very long and difficult path. There were hardships along the way on his way to the White House. You know that he survived 2 attempts on his life. He's a very courageous person, that's for sure. As for what he's doing within the country, within the United States, or when it comes to the Middle East and his efforts there to achieve peace, for example, in the Ukraine crisis, we value that a lot. And let me say that publicly again, like I've said before, President Trump, I believe, sincerely wants to achieve peace in Ukraine.
Do you believe that shit?
No.
We've seen Putin licking the ass of Donald Trump and of Israel. Not so much a Bibi, but he always reiterates how many Russians are in Israel. You want to shout that super chat out?
Yeah, anarchy is the only way. Metal Martin rules. Well, MK, I have to tell you that I would love to have that discussion because I tend to agree with you. And we've mentioned it time and time again on this show. We're all about doing it the right way. I don't believe blocking traffic is the kind of anarchy that I think we should do, but I think we should have more focused and better leadership.
No, more focus on overthrowing the government.
Yeah, well, I think we've got some friends and some old friends that are all about that right now. And I don't know. I think there's the time for that discussion is now because it's getting worse and worse and worse. And once they digitize us and implant what they're going to implant and get us in 15-minute cities, it's going to be too damn late. So again,
I think it might already be, but I got to tell you, anytime I've been on the front line, the anarchists are always the best. They really are.
Well, yeah, and I'm not thinking about paid agitators. I'm talking about the ones that are actually going to
the
do
real
something.
deal. The real
deal.
dealio. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So thank you for the very generous super chat over there. Goes straight to Shanda, and I appreciate that. It just takes a little longer to get there, but it's very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much, MK. Really helps
Ms.
her.
Crumbling. I agree, Lawrence.
In her efforts. Current report breaking: Russia has taken control of the second of Ukraine's most valuable lithium deposits. I'm going to say anything that gets us closer to finishing this bullshit that the UK and the US is propping up is fine by me. And by the way, you're
They've already killed 1 million Ukrainians. What does it matter? But do you think this is why Putin loves Trump? Probably. He just got handed one of the most finite resources in frickin' Russia.
Like I said, distract and destroy, and then, reap the benefits, the wealth of war. Again, I don't trust any of them, no matter if it's a Russian politician or a United States politician. It's just that we've had so much experience.
They're all friends.
Yeah, we've had so much experience with politicians in the United States, especially in the last 2 decades, that they have degraded not only into dumbasses, but into a cult working for the likes of the ADL and AIPAC. So, again, elections aren't going to get you out of this mess. However, you can vote against the duopoly by voting third party every time. Is that going to do you good? Not till everybody fucking wakes up, but I'm going to keep doing it, period.
Well, even then they rig it. Come on, we know that. But did you see my report on Monday about how they have, scientists have made a lithium battery that can, 10-minute charge that can last 60 years? Makes lithium not so important. So we'll never see that battery, just like we'll never see the hydro cars,
Union Carbide or Dow Chemical has bought that technology. We won't see it at all.
Yeah, no, we'll never see it, sadly.
Yeah, they're going to save it. Now, is this melanoma or Maloney?
Maloney. I think she's been hanging out with Zelensky a little bit too much. You tell me.
Yeah, that napkin full of Coca Blanca, maybe, huh?
Yeah, her and Macron.
Questo è un dibattito importante, tanto chiaramente per gli impegni.
Un messaggio molto importante, mi pare di avervi detto tutto.
Non c'è stata la reazione di Trump
su una politica espansiva.
Presidente, ma noi come faremo a produrre proiettili, carri armati?
Non mi pare che risolviamo grandi problemi.
I didn't speed this up. You did.
No.
Così con la Presidente Trump è riuscito a
I am okay.
Look at her nose.
Rub the nose.
10% i dazi. Lei ha detto che va bene così, lei è d'accordo?
You feeling no
per
pain.
ottenere questo risultato.
Aumenti sostenibili, ha detto l'Italia, però parliamo comunque di circa 100 miliardi in 10 anni, così è il calcolo, tra sicurezza e difesa.
Dobbiamo andare per rafforzare la colonna europea.
Sì.
I mean, can it be any more blatant? Can it be any more blatant?
It can't be. I used to, in my profession over the years, and yes, been there, done that. I was so good at spotting people that were stoned or high or whatever because, hey, guess what I did on the weekends? It's easy.
Yeah, it takes one to know one.
Takes one to know one, you guys. I mean, don't do that. But
lizard people, hecklefish. I love me some hecklefish.
She had the bulgy eye shit going on and the itchy nose. She probably had a couple of Q-tips shoved up her nose because if she didn't, it'd bleed all over her lip.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, give me a break, whatever. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sorry. I wanted to bring this one in, cream of bullshit. And we don't pull punches on anybody, including Fox, for anybody that's conservative watching this. Exclusive Israel planned false flag operation on U.S. soil. Tehran, information obtained by the Tehran Times, not Turanian, Tehran Times shows that Israel was plotting to carry out an explosion on U.S. soil, subsequently blame Iran, with the apparent aim of instigating a full-scale war between the United States and Iran. Speculation, guess, whatever. And this one up here, Alan McLeod says, this guy, Wolf Blitzer, literally used to work for AIPAC. He's laughing his ass off and calling him a sleeper cell. So, I mean, we've been expecting a false flag. We're always expecting a false flag.
Anything that happens, I'm not going to believe has actually happened. I'm going to believe it's false flag.
What was the greatest false flag in the last couple of decades that was perpetrated on the United
9/11.
9/11.
Oklahoma City bombing.
City bombing. And then go way back. How about JFK?
Gulf of Tonkin.
Gulf of Tonkin. Well, all the wars.
wars, and all of the attacks, the bombings, the cafes and all of that shit for years has been false flags.
It's all false flags. So anymore we just look at it. Oh well, I'm not going to get pissed on who they say did it, because they obviously
the media tells me did it.
Yeah, they didn't do it. I mean, the Western media has lost any and all credibility with this old boomer. And I grew up with Walter Cronkite and Chet Huntley and David Brinkley and all the rest of them that supposedly were telling the truth, in which cases sometimes they weren't either. They were fed shit to tell the people. What's this?
No amount of propaganda should convince you that some children don't deserve to grow up.
None. I had somebody come at me today with that, Palestine, but they came in, they barbecued babies and incubators and,
oh my God,
all that bullshit. I caught a great clip this week of Sabrina Savati, Sabby Sabs, over on Galloway. I think she did a fine job over there. And I took a little snippet out of it that I wanted to share with you. Have you watched this yet, Shanda?
No, but congratulations for getting blocked by Piers Morgan. What an accomplishment, Sabs.
That's terrific. Terrific. Here we go.
Now, on the bigger picture, Donald Trump has nominated himself, I think, but next best thing, Israel has nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize for stopping a war that he started. How do you make sense of it all? I follow his pronunciamento on Truth Social and occasionally on Twitter, and I'm left scratching my head. Is this really the President of the United States speaking like this?
Absolutely, it is. And he wouldn't be the first, right, to be nominated for something that he started. For example, Barack Obama also received the Nobel Peace Prize after he had bombed so many people in Libya. We cannot forget about the number of bombs that Barack Obama dropped. This is not something that just happened under the Biden administration or something that's just happening under Donald Trump's administration right now. Both of these parties love war because war manufacturers and the MIC, they believe in this. Like, they support this, and they support those donors. They support the weapon contractors. So they love it when you're having war. Even some of the corporate media that was against Donald Trump started to support him the moment he started dropping, bombs on Iran. So that is a big culture problem that I think that we have in the political space in the United States, at least. But I think that Donald Trump, I think that he is splitting the MAGA base with his actions. There are a number of people that did support Donald Trump solely because he said he was going to bring about peace and he was going to be anti-war. And they're speaking out very vocally. I'm sure, as you've seen, even some of the podcasters, such as Candace Owens, Dave Smith has been very vocal about this, even calling for Donald Trump's impeachment. So there seems to be a split there among the podcaster base, also some of the voter base that say this is not what they voted for. Ultimately, I would think that people are starting to see that our politics in this country is just very much controlled, that the president is mainly just a puppet, and he responds to or answers to the deep state that Donald Trump said he was going to fight back against. So it's all controlled, and I think that if you really want to see real change in the electoral sphere, you're going to have to break the system. You cannot keep the system that is currently in place.
What do you think, Shanda?
Yeah, she nailed it. 100%.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And come on, but it got rescinded. It got rescinded a couple hours later. So, but that's what he wants. That's what he's working on. He's not going to be happy till he gets one.
How do you like this graphic behind your head?
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I love the kitty.
Yeah,
that's my Dory. My Dory kitty. That's my Dory baby. My Dory kitty. How is my Dory kitty?
She's trouble.
She's trouble. I can't wait to pick her up. Yeah, I'm going to pick up my kitty on Friday.
Yeah, she's of a mind that she can leap tall buildings at a single bound. And it's like, don't do it. I walk in there, don't do it. She's the size of a teacup with a head on it, and she's jumping off this massive table, and it's like me running in an outfield to catch her before she hits the ground. It's crazy. And then she spends the rest of the time on my shoulders.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So, we got a big cat tower. She's going to love it.
Who's this?
This is Kamala Harris's stepdaughter. Remember her?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she was on her way to go vote in the New York mayor primary, and this is what she had to say.
Okay, let's hear Kamala Harris's stepdaughter.
I'm feeling a little trauma walking to the same polling station that I did to vote for Kamala, and I'm just feeling a lot of hope right now.
Hope?
We did it. Feeling a huge mix of emotions. I'm really nervous, but I'm also so hopeful. It's been so spectacular seeing New York come together in this way and rally behind Zoran. And yeah, let's fucking do this, guys.
Oh, guys, can you imagine sending her to war? Anyways, what do you got to say about the Zoran primary win this week?
Another distraction.
Yeah.
He's gonna just be another DNC cuck if he gets in there. And that rat-faced fucker Cuomo, who should be in prison by all rights, in my opinion, if he's going to run as an independent,
he will.
Then the current what's the current mayor's name? Eric Adams, and Cuomo will pull votes from each other, and Zoran maybe win. But like I said earlier, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Go ahead, just take out the existing one. Let's deal with a new one, and see how they do. And he's saying a lot of the right things in some cases, but in other cases, he's saying the way wrong thing.
AOC said a lot of the right fucking things too, but once she got in there, she pivoted and did the exact fucking opposite. They love to run on everyday working class policies, but then when it comes to, actually implementing them, they don't do shit. So I haven't paid much attention to this because I don't buy it. I'm sorry, I don't buy any of these fucking candidates anymore. And there's a big fucking difference between him and Kshama Sawant. People are like, oh, look, he's winning, let's get Kshama Sawant in there. I have a personal relationship with Kshama Sawant, have for many years, her and her husband. I'm going to be honest, I have more of a communication with her husband than I do her. But she's always been supportive of me, personally. I know where her heart is, and I know where she came from. I know her past. And yeah, she does sometimes break with the Democrats on things because she's being thoughtful and logical about it. But when it comes down to it, I don't see Kshama selling out the everyday working class like I see this guy. This guy will sell New York out every damn time, I promise.
I know you and I we've taken risks on politicians, and we've been fucked every single time we've been fucked. So I hope this one doesn't fuck you, especially since you have a personal relationship. It's going to hurt all that much more. But so there was a couple of times I haven't agreed with Kshama, but she kind of fell rank and file when it came to the boop boop. Yeah. Right. But I understood that was fear. A lot of people fell for it. But she's not unobtainable or untouchable to where you couldn't have a conversation with her about it. And she's going to give you a good argument for her stance. Unlike these guys who are just going to blow you the fuck off and tell you, fuck off, I'll vote how I want. Well, lastly on this, anybody in New York that is supporting Andrew Cuomo, you got something wrong with your head. You are not. You are supporting.
Those are the rank and file Democrats. We're going to cover that over on my show because I've got a great clip of Fredo melting down. Of course, baby brother is defending his big brother, and we're going to cover it on Monday.
Well, in my opinion, he's a criminal too. That's my opinion.
They're all criminals. All the Comos are.
Voting for anyone in the duopoly is a betrayal of common sense and a surrender of conscience. The so-called pragmatic vote, I wrote this, by the way. You can tell because I use so-called pragmatic vote, is nothing but a coward's excuse, blind to the wreckage in plain sight. If you keep casting ballots for candidates bought and paid for by AIPAC, you're not voting for democracy. You're voting for corruption on autopilot, for the empire on the march, for a nation sold to the highest bidder. Wake up. The system doesn't need your participation. It needs your rebellion. And I wrote that, and I will stand by that 100%. That's, to me, that's real truth. Now listen to this. You're going to love this.
A political upset here in New York. Democratic socialist Zoran Mamdani is the likely winner of the city's mayoral primary. He declared victory after former Governor Andrew Cuomo conceded. Cuomo was backed by big money donors, but Mamdani, a 33-year-old state lawmaker, was endorsed by Senator Bernie Sanders as the anti-establishment candidate. Republicans are slamming Mamdani as anti-capitalism and anti-Semitic for criticizing Israel, which he denies. He says he's focused on the cost of living.
We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford. A city where they can do more than just struggle. One where those who toil in the night can enjoy the fruits of their labor in the day.
The National Democratic Party is at a crossroads. Should the party, try to stay with the old guard, more established incumbents and folks who have been prominent voices in the party for a long time, or should it go and try to usher in a new generation of leadership? In New York, at least, we know the real enthusiasm lies with progressives and with young people.
Cuomo is not ruling out a possible return to the race as an independent candidate in November's general election.
Listen, that guy's got Cory Booker vibes all over him. He sounds just like Cory Booker.
Well, go to the next slide because I've got living proof of it. Okay, so here he is, and he tweeted this out, I want to say just like 2 days ago. He says, "I'm about to go live on MSNBC," and he takes a picture of his feet on the carpet at MSNBC. So tell me this guy doesn't worship the establishment.
Oh,
right there is a dead fucking giveaway that he loves the establishment.
Yeah, well, he does, and he loves the fame and the popularity. Yep. I hate to tell him that carpet's going to be torn out real soon. They're getting to move MSNBS to BuzzFeed Studios, and I don't know if they're going to take the old carpet with them.
And knock our numbers down even lower.
Yeah, that's going to be a mess. Anyway, Zoran Morhandi said, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is once-in-a-generation leader who has led the fight for working people in Congress. In 2018, she's blah, 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 blah. Fiorella Isabel said AOC voted for the Iron Dome, voted for the Ukraine war, wanted to censor people with different opinions, use children in cages for PR, is among the biggest traitors in my progressive movement. You guys praise her because he'll be exactly the same. And exactly the same. So I got to go with Fee once again. Fee hasn't been wrong very often. Matter of fact, it doesn't come to mind when she has, but we're all wrong once in a while. Now this little treat from Jack Page. Jax, we love you, Jax. We love Jax Page. She's been hot the last 3 days. This motherfucker went from defund the cops to give them 800% more. 800%. What figure exactly? And yeah, ramp up the out-of-control cops even more. We deserve better than this obvious fraud. Here, Jack.
Fraud.
Here, listen. If this hasn't sold you on what a piece of shit this guy is, and I hope he wins. That's my hypocrisy. I just want him to knock out Cuomo and Adams. And after that, it's going to be a shit show. But here we go. Listen to this guy.
I know that Jewish New Yorkers, like Jewish Americans, are fearful in this moment of anti-Semitism. They're fearful, especially after the horrific attacks that we saw in Washington, D.C. and in Boulder, Colorado. And they're fearful also in conversations that I have heard myself about life in this city. I spoke to a Jewish man in Williamsburg not too many weeks ago who told me about the fact that he now locks the door that he used to close, that he used to keep open for years because of a fear of who may come in. I spoke to a friend of mine after October 7th who told me about going to his synagogue for Shabbat services and hearing the door open behind him and turning around with a tremor going up his back, not knowing who was walking in and what they wished for them. And ultimately, it's through the conversations I've had with Jewish New Yorkers that I have developed a proposal for the Department of Community Safety that would include an 800% increase in funding for hate crime prevention programs. Because ultimately, we cannot simply say that anti-Semitism has no home in this city or no place in this country. We have to do more than talk about it. We have to tackle it. And that's what we will do through this funding and through this commitment. We will root out bigotry across the 5 boroughs.
If that doesn't tell you what cloth this fucker is cut from, nothing will.
Yeah, they don't want to defund anybody. They always vote to increase their budget. So, Metal Martin, thank you so much for the super chat. If Bernie endorsed him, then that is all you need to know. Well, aside from the fact that the DNC is a private corporation.
Exactly.
Burned it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. And you know what? He should just go in Germany, and then he wouldn't have to work so hard, because they're already doing that in Germany. So fuck Germany and their fascist rulers over there. Now this is here's an up note for tonight, everybody.
Yes, I
It's
just
not
had
all
to
a
mention
drag.
it.
We got to have a
Yeah.
timeline cleanse here.
It's been 1 year. 1 year of freedom for Julian Assange. Congratulations for 1 year of freedom. I'm so happy. So first we overlook evil, then we permit evil, then we legalize evil, then we promote evil, then we celebrate evil, then we persecute those who still call it evil. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. You know, and whistleblowers need a hell of a lot more protections, because they're not getting any right now. And
That's right.
you brought Tara Reid. What's this? What's this?
Tara Reid, she got invited to speak to a God, what panel was this? It wasn't a UN panel. Maybe it was. MK, thank you. Another super chat says he's a fascist.
Yeah, yes, MK.
He's a fascist. I agree.
Absolutely.
I can't remember where Tara Reid was, but it was worth bringing because what she has to say is pertinent.
And for those of you who like Morandi, sorry, we don't. Shanda and I always have called them as we see them.
Yep.
And if we praise somebody, we mean it. If we don't trust somebody, we mean that too. Here we go, Tara
Don't pull
Reid.
no punches.
I was speaking out publicly through the media, and I was threatened with prison and with my life, and I came here to Russia to continue to work for RT, and I have more freedom. And everyone would ask me, what about freedom of speech? What about freedom of speech in the West? And I want to get to the heart of that, because that's what the panel's about. The freedom of speech in the West is a myth. There are many people that are being persecuted. I was graciously allowed to come to the Russian Federation under political asylum, and I am forever grateful for that. I won't apologize for my country, because I had nothing to do with the policies that were put out. But what happened in America is happening. What happened to me is happening to a lot of people. The major media in the U.S. is owned by 3 companies, now down to 2. BlackRock is one of them. BlackRock is also very much involved with war. And by owning those companies, they infiltrate CNN, NBC, all of those companies you worked for, with CIA, former and what Michael...
Which is why it's called corporate media.
Right. And
Mossad.
so they have former intelligence and intelligence with military industrial complex agendas infiltrated into the mass media to shape that message. Anyone that deviates from that message is suppressed.
120 seconds of the only truth you ever need to know about mainstream media, Western media.
Killed it. And it was good to see Rick Sanchez.
Yeah,
Love me
I
some
always like Rick Sanchez. What do you got here, Shanda?
You can only take one. You can take a blue one, end abortion, trafficking, and the transitioning of kids. Black one is abolish foreign aid and military industrial complex. The yellow is in the Federal Reserve, IRS, and income taxes. And the red one is abolish the ATF, the FBI, and the NSA and the CIA. Well, call me a junkie because I'm going to take all of them.
I'm going to take the red one.
The red one. Do you think that abolishing the ATF, the FBI, and the NSA and the CIA would help? Yeah, you're probably right. Right off the bat, that would do a lot, just to getting rid of the NSA and the
red
CIA.
The red one and the black one are the most appealing to me, right there.
Yeah, I gotta agree. But the Fed, the yellow one, ending the Federal Reserve and the IRS, that one would do a heavy blow on them, right?
Yeah, I think it would help the rich people more.
What do you guys think? You'll take the black mastermind? Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that was a good little conversationist.
We lost one of the last good ones this week. Integrity mourns this loss. We have lost a giant broadcaster legend. Bill Moyers dies at 91. And I think he's old-timey, honest. And I don't know. Everybody I find has dirt on them, but I don't think this guy had dirt on him. I think he's always been genuine and honest, and to lose one more really hurts me to the core. So I say rest in peace. Integrity mourns this loss, and that's I had to put
yeah,
that
we
in
liked Bill.
Yeah, Bill did great. He was an actual journalist, by the way, not this overpaid crap that they have on.
Do we even have journalists anymore? I don't think we've had journalists for many decades.
No,
not
you
real
have,
journalists.
You
anyways.
have opinion propaganda spew faces. That's what you got. You brought this, or did I bring this? You brought this?
I did. Did you see the meteor that blew up over, what was it, Macon, Georgia this week? I was hoping for more. I was like, only one? What the hell?
Well, I'm always disappointed where they land, but let's watch.
It didn't land. It blew up before it landed, I think.
Ouch.
Boom. I know. I was hoping for more.
Yeah, it would cause a fire, at least.
Once I saw one, I was like, oh, is it starting? Is it starting? It's got to start sometime. And it freaked them out. Everybody saw it in like the southern
Turned
states,
around.
like
I'm gonna go the other way.
Tennessee, Georgia. Yeah. So there was meteor showers last night. How do you call it? The boulades? The boulades meteor showers? Did anybody see them? Did any? The boulade?
No.
Botids?
No, botids.
Oh, that's a T, not an L. Sorry, you know I'm blind as a bat.
Yeah, I know.
Metal Martin, thank you so much. Hitting us up with another super chat. But in the end, you need to live your life, love beauty, and admonish evil. Honesty is a virtue for eternity.
And we try and live by that, Metal Martin, and that's beautiful.
Yes.
Beautifully stated, and we appreciate that, especially in our chat, because that's what most of our chat's about, is those words. Exactly
what our chat's about.
Our chat, again, I can't compliment our chat enough, and that's why we trust everybody with a damn wrench in here. They come here, they know Shanda and I don't pick sides. We just call it as we see them. We don't spend an hour on something doing in-depth stuff, because you can get that from some of our sisters and brothers. But in the end, you need to live your life, love beauty, and admonish evil. Honesty is a virtue for eternity. And when I let my last breath go on this planet, I hope I'm remembered for that. I really do.
I'll remember you for that.
I know you do. You're a wonderful sissy. Is this the guy with the electric bill in Texas?
Yes, I love this.
This is great. This is great. I know you guys have seen it, some of you. This is great.
It come on a Monday. The envelope bore no mercy, no smile, only that cruel whirling sun of TXU, a logo that shines not with hope, but with consequence, as if to say, you danced, now pay. I broke the seal back like I was peeling back the bandage on a wound I'd done give myself, and there it was, $696.27. Now, I recall a time not too long ago when a man could just sleep with just a fan on. Box fan in the window, sheets damp with his own resolve. But then came August. August, that devil in cargo shorts. She comes with air so thick you can taste the mosquitoes before they bite you. And I, a weak and weary creature, I touched the thermostat, dropped her down to 71. The sin of comfort.
The sin of comfort.
I knew what I was doing. Each degree of betrayal, each hour a soft lie told in Freon. But I pressed on. A man cannot sweat through 3 showers a day and still hold his head high at the HEB. Now I'm shackled, betrayed and bound by wattage and poor choices, and yet I will do it again, for I have known the chill, and I will not go back.
I love that. That guy. I hope the guy writes stuff. I hope he's a writer.
I hope he's a writer too, because that was brilliant. That was brilliant. Yes, I've known the sin of the chill.
You brought this?
Yeah, let's see. We need a reverse Shark Tank where U.S. oligarchs explain why they deserve billions of dollars while standing in front of 5 people living in poverty who work for them. I agree. That would be awesome. And California City makes homeless eligible for arrest if they refuse 3 offers of shelters. So 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
You don't want to get me going on Gavin Newsom in California. That guy's a disgrace.
Guess what? The gas tax kicks in this week. All of our friends in California, you're going to be paying just as much as Washington State.
You're going to get boned. You're going to be paying like $7.50 for a gallon of gas.
Welcome.
Anyway, I bring a little crumb of this every week, but everybody, it's worse than you think. It's worse than you think. Amazon orders 350,000 employees to relocate or resign without severance. California job collapse accelerates with 5 factories closing immediately. I don't know what the hell the factories are. Kroger, I probably said this last week, is closing 60 more stores. But what you may not know is the fast food and sit-down dining industry is crippling. It's closing at a rate this year that is 50% more closing and shuttering than last year.
Nobody can afford to go out to eat.
Denny's, Red Robin, to name a few, TGI Fridays. I think TGI Fridays
Red
I
Lobster.
Gone. Red Lobster.
Red Lobster's gone. Yeah.
And you know, and it's hard to get an average number of employees when you're talking about so many companies in the restaurant business closing down. But we're talking about, in my math, and my math's pretty good. I guessed how many days it was till Christmas the other day, and I didn't even have a clue. I just guessed.
You've been counting it off in your head.
I guess. But it's hundreds of thousands of people, because it's not just one business. It's the delivery personnel. It's the janitorial personnel.
Yeah.
It's all the people that are tied to these chains, and some
the delivery
independents.
drivers that are
The delivery
delivering
drivers,
food to those places.
Yeah, the caterers, you know, everything. But the hammer, the shoe is gonna drop, guys, and I'm not the only one that's saying it, but it's going to drop, guaranteed. And if by some cosmic miracle it doesn't, I will mea culpa in a second. But from what I've been watching, and I follow this damn close, closer than some, not as in depth as others, but I haven't been wrong too much yet on shit like this. And it's gonna hit hard. It's gonna hit hard. We don't eat out anymore. We haven't eaten out in years.
Who can afford $50 for 2 fast food burgers?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And I'm going to get a little bit more in depth on why we don't eat out later. But you brought this. No, I brought this one. James Melville. Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment. I wonder if that's like jab experiments of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that can cool the Earth. It's called solar geoengineering, and it's highly controversial. What could go wrong?
Not that I haven't been talking about this every week for years now.
Yeah, I know. You're going to enjoy this, Shanda. I brought this for you.
Thank you.
Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth. It's called solar geoengineering, and it's highly controversial.
How long will it be that countries keep experiencing these climate impacts before someone gets desperate and says, hey, we need to cool the planet with solar geoengineering?
It would look something like this. Thousands of planes would fly very high and use nozzles to inject millions of tons of light-reflecting particles into the stratosphere.
No way.
It would create a thin chemical cloud of those particles around the whole planet, blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface. It would mimic a giant volcanic eruption, which we know cools the Earth.
Yeah, that would never happen in real life. That's just theory.
You had me at thousands of planes, and we're worried about carbon footprint from my Subaru that I drive once or twice a month. Are you fucking kidding me? Thousands of planes. Oh my God. Here you go, Shanda. Why is the real reason that lead was removed from paint?
Okay, now I just had to shake my head when I read this. Now, sometimes memes can be informative, but this is just stupid. So the real reason why they removed lead paint. Lead paint was banned not because children were eating paint chips, rather how well it was absorbing RF and EMF radiation. Why do you think you wear a lead vest whilst getting an x-ray? Lead is highly effective in preventing and protecting from sources of radiation, including gamma rays, x-rays, and other types of radiation. The truth of the matter is they removed the paint to make their silent weapons more effective against you.
God damn, that's a case of the cure being more lethal than the purpose
my God.
of it.
Like, I don't buy this one. I'm sorry. I'm not buying this one.
I
think that lead paint was dangerous.
I have visions of Wolverine dipping himself in that adamantium bath and coming out. Let's just put lead in there and dive in, everybody. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that one was stupid. Yeah, that one was totally stupid. So don't believe everything that you see on a meme. Have you, you know how they're saying that human DNA is showing up in more and more stuff? Ever wonder why? Well, check this machine out.
When they're feeding the dead to the living, you know the end is near.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Check out this death chamber, this washing machine. They call it aquamation, where they liquefy the dead and then dump the remains down the drain to be recycled into the municipal water supply.
Oh, fuck.
And so people are drinking it, they're showering in it, they're doing their laundry in it, and this is happening in most states across the country. In most major cities, they're recycling dead people and feeding it to the living. What does that mean exactly? And they're grinding up the bones into powder. They call this calcium phosphate, which is going to be used for food processing, undoubtedly. Maybe in your vitamins.
Ugh.
And so what are the implications when people start eating dead people, like cannibalism?
You can kill it whenever.
Is there...
Yeah, I think you made your point.
Yeah, you got the gist of it. So yeah, they're liquefying us and then just dumping us down the drain. Hey, it's cheaper, it's more cost effective, you know. It's expensive to cremate somebody.
Yeah, it is. And it's I think I had my pop cremated, it was $1,200. You know, I mean,
it's not $1,200 anymore. I had my mom cremated in 2001. It was $3,800, and then my mother-in-law last year was around $3,800. If I remember.
Well, my dad would have been pissed that I paid any more, so he's lucky, I guess.
And that's for the bare minimum. That's a cardboard box and coming home in, you know, a cardboard urn.
Yeah, they're capitalism is screwing the dead too, so there you go.
Very much so, to where I'm very worried about my final, you know, what I don't want to leave my kids strapped with not knowing how to take care of and being strapped with a $4,000 bill, and that's, you know, it's not fair. It's not fair to them, and so yeah, I've been stressed about it.
I just told Joey to put me out there under the apple tree. I'll show you my final resting spot when you visit next weekend.
I know where it is.
The what's this? Neuroscientist explains how a thought held for 17 seconds will start to manifest.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a law in physics that basically says that when you have energy that is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. So if you do that 17 seconds, for 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. So let's say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, all of those are lower, denser frequencies. You get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. So let's say that I normally live in contentment. And that's my set point, because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is, that sort of thing. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden, a car cuts me off, and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office, and I'm telling all my colleagues, you know, here's what happened. You know, this knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. So I go to the supermarket, and there is somebody in line. I have 3 items, and I'm getting in line, and somebody ahead of me has 38 items. And the guy that's running the cash register, it's his first day, and he's not doing very well. He's very slow. Is that a coincidence? No, it's something for me to get angry about. So I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating. So where my thoughts are, that's what's creating my reality.
You're bringing people around you down.
Yeah, and
the
you're
people
pumping,
that you bitched at. Yeah, exactly.
You're pumping cortisol, which is very bad for you, through your entire body. That's what that creates. Now, I'll tell you, one of the things that really helps, and I'm sure our chat has many other suggestions, but take this stupid smartphone that we all have, and they have on YouTube and other platforms, they've got frequencies that they have been proven to help that.
Yeah.
To help that. I mean, it helps your brain fog and everything else. And honest to God, I tested this because I said, no way. No, it actually does. It relaxes me, and it will stop the cortisol from going, because as of late, Shanda and I have been so pissed off at the genocide and the world war shit going on. I have to break away and plug this into my head.
Yep.
So,
we'll have to talk about the 55515 CIA, how to control pain. Literally, you can say 55515 and focus on your pain and make it go away. The CIA has proven this. I don't know. Pretty crazy. We'll cover it over on TPP. Metal Martin being so generous with us tonight. My 77-year-old mom had the lower lobe of her left lung removed, and she had her last round of chemo on Tuesday. She did it like a champ. Congratulations.
Yay.
I'm so happy she finished chemo.
Yay.
All of my wishing her all my best for a speedy recovery. What a champ. Yeah, what a champ, because I know what kind of pain that is.
Yes,
my
you
lung,
do.
my right lobe sitting here aching right now. I wish mine's too bad to pull the lobe out. They can't cut mine out, but
yes, absolutely. Good for her. And thank you for your generosity there, Metal Martin. Very, very much appreciated. I brought show and tell this week, Shanda.
Ooh, I'm ready for it.
Okay. This is something that a lot of you already know. 5 boxed cake mixes you should never eat. Well, I'm going to expand that. Don't even buy the goddamn box cake mixes. And I had an affinity when I was growing up for Duncan Hines. That was my favorite. But these popular cake mixes have things like, may sound appealing, but it's one of the least healthy options at the market. It truly is. Super moist. Texture comes from a combination of added sugar, up to 22 grams per serving, artificial flavors, and additives like propylene glycol, a common ingredient in antifreeze. That's FDA approved for consumption in small quantities, but still among health-conscious consumers. I mean, give me a break. They are convenient and everything else, and I brought one here to show everybody. This is Pillsbury Super Moist, right? Now, I want to point out to you, you know how they have the ingredients on the side of the box? Well, the ingredients are in micro letters here, and here's my tape measure here. The ingredients in micro letters and a thin font are 1.5 inches long of things. And I asked Joey, and I already knew this, but I asked my wife to verify it. I said, in the dry cake mix, just the dry part, not the eggs and the milk or the water or the sour cream, whatever you use, how many ingredients are in when you make a cake? And she goes, 4.
Like 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I mean, unbleached
flour, some
flour,
eggs, some milk, some sugar, some baking
that's just
powder.
the dry ingredients. When you add the eggs, that's another ingredient. The milk, but that's the liquid
Right,
stuff.
right.
But
a little bit of salt.
This is processed food that is poison.
Ultra processed.
Ultra processed. And I had this because I grabbed it at grocery outlet. Oh God, maybe we'll have a cake. And I've been ordered to check all the ingredients on everything I buy, because you're paying for your own poison. This is one of them.
You are.
Now, the amount of sugar in here, and I'll finish up, is horrendous. Like, Coke, Pepsi, everything else. You know how they pour a jar in and how much sugar's in each one, and the jar's like half full of sugar?
Yeah.
Well, for those who are on the edge or are pre-diabetic and stuff, I found a miracle. A miracle.
Okay.
And I'm not sponsored by this, and there's a lot of companies that carry this, but it's berberine. Berberine with Ceylon cinnamon in it. Okay. And I have felt so much better, and my blood sugar has been tracking so much better. Granted, I don't pound the bullshit sugar foods, but I will say, and I'm not a doctor, this is berberine, and it's helped me. So, and it's not horribly expensive either, because I was going wackadoodle. You witnessed that.
No, you were.
witnessed it. but it seems to have stabilized my sugar levels a little bit better.
We'll have to
At
give it
least
a
I can
try
handle
over
it.
here.
Yeah, so that's something, and that's my show.
Cold
and tell
Fusion
for our
Gaming
show.
needs a handful of those for
Yeah,
sure.
and it's 2 a day is what it says for that.
Okay,
one.
2 a day. I'm gonna have to find them in 2 a day.
Now, Shanda, did you know that we're in a dangerous state, not only for the killer African bees, but guess what we've got now?
I've seen very little bees this year.
We have invasive Asian needle ants with fatal stings infiltrate 20 states. 20 states. And the Pacific Northwest, Oregon and Washington are some of those states.
Are they big like a carpenter ant? Because I've seen a couple of carpenter ants I thought were carpenter ants this year, and I thought, well, that's weird. We don't normally have those guys.
Yeah, they are. Well, you can see how big they are in relation to that index finger there and those tweezers. And I swear to God, I have seen that kind of configuration on these ants, but I've got all the giant ants here. You know, it's like a freaking sci-fi movie from 1956.
Well, thanks for giving me nightmares right before bed.
Well, the thing of it is, don't just brush ants off. You know, you need to watch out where you're stepping and standing in your yard. Watch out for these things, because once you get stung, and I assume, and I didn't read the article completely, but I'm sure that can turn into...
Typical American. I didn't read the whole thing.
Well, I didn't, because it was making me scared and sick. But any type of bug bite can turn into some hellish staph infection.
Oh, hell yeah.
So don't...
have you ever seen a bullet ant? Down south, they have bullet ants.
Yeah.
And they could take a cow down. And one time I had a hammer and a bullet ant was crawling across my porch, and I was out there gardening, and I smacked that bullet ant with that hammer, and it popped right back up and kept going. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's like a Marvel movie. They're so strong.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
What is this? Is this a tent? Is this a tent?
Yeah, this is camping at its finest.
Oh, no, thank you. I've seen this.
Кажется, сейчас будет шок-контент.
Screw the ants.
Yeah.
These guys will take you away. Look at the dog. The dog's even scared.
I wouldn't even want to go out.
Screw that shit.
Dude, you can see them. They're just pile. Oh, my God. And I've been trapped outside in the South, you know, during the summertime, and that's kind of what they're like.
Yeah, that's. I assume that's in France, or speaking French or Canada.
Yeah, but it's like that down south. I don't know. Fuck them ants, says MK. Yeah, fuck them ants.
We made it to Hollywood. Go fuck yourself. Stick around. We've got a hellaciously great outro tonight. We got a threefer of James Bond covers. And honestly, you guys, they're the best James Bond covers I have ever found. Not to mention,
always come up with the best covers.
Skyfall was fantastic. So
yeah, I liked Skyfall.
These three are great: Duran Duran and Wings and Sheena Easton. Just to give you a hint, it's time for Hollywood. Go fuck yourself, Shanda. Here we go. It's that time. Oh, you covered.
It's that time. We have to talk about it. Yeah. Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry split up. Oh, too sad. But here's the problem. You know, she went to space with Lauren Sanchez, a.k.a. Mrs. Bezos now. Well, Katy can't make it to the wedding, so Orlando decided to go as a single guy, and he's been partying it up with the Kardashians all weekend.
Great.
Katy's got to be pissed. I'm going to see Katy Perry with my daughter and granddaughter at the end of July, so I'll tell you just how bad her concert really is.
I'm glad that you get out and do something once in a while. I heard the tickets aren't cheap, so I'm assuming...
No, tickets aren't cheap, and the concert sucks from what I hear.
Okay, pardon me. When did David Lee Roth become Dr. Smith from Lost in Space? I had to throw that in there. Sorry.
David Lee.
His
brain's still cooked, though. That guy's brain is all...
Oh, yeah, it's been cooked. I saw him in 1977 with Van Halen. It was one of the best...
Oh, that was when he was at his prime, man.
One of the best concerts, one of the best concerts I'd ever seen. Now, you got another Bezos here. You got a Bezos? Who's Bezos?
So Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez asked wedding guests to donate to the city of Venice instead of giving them gifts. So they brought in their whole entourage and $55 million wedding. That doesn't include the gowns and the rings and all that shit. That's just for their guests. They pretty much rented out the whole fucking city. They did give the city $3 million to preserve something, and they're asking all their gifts or their guests to give to these charities that support stuff that's happening in Venice. I'm not sure
That's
what.
a feel good for all those people that came in on private jets.
Yeah.
Oprah and DiCaprio and
they're all there. Oprah, DiCaprio, you name it. The
Brad
worst
Pitt.
of the worst, they're there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So
Here's
Jeff, the cake was for everyone.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
He
There
doesn't
you
get
go.
that. Here they are, waving at the crowd, getting on their boats.
Jeff, this way.
They come out of that tent.
Loaded.
That's funny.
Loaded.
Yeah, it's the people that are there. What was it? 90 jets came in and yachts.
Oh, nice.
And didn't he just lay off 380,000 Amazon workers? Is that what we were just saying?
No, he gave them the option of relocating, or they were going to get
you can
no
move
severance.
or quit. Yeah, no severance
whatever.
pay. So there's a lot of protesting going on. A lot of people saying if he can throw a $55 million wedding, well, then he can pay higher taxes. And I tend to agree. So this is a dummy of him on an Amazon box.
Lex Luthor on an Amazon box.
Yeah, we've seen all kinds of cool protests that are going down. I'd be laughing if I was on a freaking ferry flight going past that. I've always wanted to see Venice.
Oh, great headpiece. Good job.
There's a couple of them. They've got one that's in a gondola of the both of them. So Fiorella says, I know we're all watching the end of the world, wars, genocide, but one positive silver lining is Italians protesting billionaire Jeff Bezos' $42 million wedding in Venice so much the asshole whose wedding will the U.S. Marines are security. Really? The Marines are security? Have to change the venue? Wow. You can pay more taxes. I agree.
Yeah,
you
please
can pay
do.
more taxes.
Please do. Well said.
Fucking
Fee.
drone him. I agree. Drone him. Now, this is so funny. This is Joey B. Tunes, and I had to bring this because fashion.
Yeah, we had our fashion segment. We covered this last week, but Joey B. Tunes took it to a new level. Here you
He
go.
always does.
Oh, great. Another mental patient parade. What's this supposed to be? Half man, half cheese grater? Yeah, nothing says high fashion like walking around like a salad accessory. What the hell is this supposed to be? I don't even know how to process any of this. I mean, forget the robot. Imagine spending years raising a child only for it to end up as an adult who wears a ribbon pacifier in his mouth. I would order my son's robot dog to maul me and put me out of my misery. Now, look, Uncle Fester decided to join the parade. Yeah, this one's going to show up in my nightmares, that's for sure. You know, I could have sworn I saw this thing blocking traffic the other day. This is her, isn't it? I don't know. What I want to know is how are people watching any of this with a straight face? Like, look at this woman. She's actually taking this seriously. I mean, what chain of events do you have to go through in life to attend one of these and watch this lunacy with the same face you'd make during a eulogy? Think about it. These people have an opinion on the direction the world should be going in. If you attend one of these with a straight face, I don't want to hear your opinion on anything. I mean, imagine being alive and not knowing this is stupid. You could throw anything together and these people will think it's some sort of groundbreaking fashion design. There you go, stick a bunch of ramen noodles on someone and call it a dress. See, look, someone just strapped some fruit fly traps to this chick's head. Look, nobody's laughing. These people will accept anything you present to them. See all those random patches of fur she's got on her? The designer probably just cut it off some roadkill they found in the road on the way to the event and just stuck it on her before she came out here. Why don't they ever host these at the Comedy Store? I'm sure a lot of people would go for a good laugh, don't you? I can't imagine all these designers take this as seriously as we think they do. I mean, look at what these fashion brands are selling to their customers. An $1,190 roll of packing tape sold as a bracelet. Yeah, this is real. They're probably thinking, why sell quality clothing or jewelry that costs a lot to make when you can sell things you find at Dollar General for thousands of dollars to rich elite level dummies who will buy it? There you go. Here's our fall 2025 catalog. Ready? $925. For a $25 dress you could get at H&M. Keychains for $1,650. $675 t-shirts. They're robbing these people, and people invite them to. Imagine buying something at the We Rob People store. Here's their fall 2025 cover photo. She looks happy in her $900 t-shirt dress. My God, man. She looks like she's there to return it after finding out she could get it for $25 at Old Navy. Almost looks like they're mocking their customers, doesn't it? At the end of the day, if you're spending thousands of dollars to look like a depressed cult member in a Snuggie, that's on you. Some people invest in assets, others invest in looking like a socially conscious garbage bag. If getting robbed by a fashion label makes...
Evil Balenciaga. And Anna Wintour has decided to step down as editor of Vogue in the U.S. Will remain the global editor-director. This is after 47 years, I want to say, that she has been the acting editor.
She's been around
of
a
Vogue.
long time.
Yeah, long fucking time.
Stoner Corner, my morning cup of coffee. Linda saw that and she said that's what she wants for her morning cup of coffee. And they say love is in the air, but I'm still pretty sure it's just a sense of amelia. And the Bat Bong, was that on that show? It probably wasn't. Side effects include happiness and a good night's sleep. And there's the new age Betty and Wilma. They're having a smoke after Fred and Barney get the hell out of the house. So,
oh yeah,
more power to them. Now, I need to put a adult disclaimer on this. If adult things bother you, please disregard this. But on the other hand, do you know what this machine is, Shanda?
I have no idea, but I saw it over on the X and was like, what the hell?
Yeah, what type of machine is this? And A, answer, no idea, but I'm guessing 1,327,496 women are slamming Amazon to get one right now.
Not me, man. Is it a thigh roller? Oh, that music's gonna get us pop. Oh no.
Yeah, it was too short. It wouldn't get us. But I think that was a thigh roller, but one of those dual purpose things possibly. What do you think, Shanda?
I don't know, but I'm sure Bezos is making millions off of it.
Yeah, whatever he can do. It's time for Meme Alley, and we're going to get the hell out of here real quick tonight. Got some good memes for you, everybody. And this one, Shanda brought this one, How True It Is.
Oh, the original gender-neutral bathroom. Have a great summer. Don't pee in the pool.
I heard they put something in there that interacts with pee now, and it turns blue. They didn't have that when I was a kid.
They have red, too.
Oh, okay. Ladies, it's time to start thinking whether the guy you're dating has post-apocalyptic warlord potential. I brought that for you.
Mine does. Mine does.
Just checking. And then we have question, what is the best invention in human history? And, of course, the guillotine. And here's the little doggy that said, yeah, I was on drugs that day chasing a rhino. And, and yeah, I've seen this happen all too often. Never ends well. Getting old sucks. I used to wake up feeling like $1 million. Now I feel more like a bounced check. And I've got to tell you, that's...
oh, gosh.
That's how a lot of us feel these days. We have this prison line cafeteria for here to go, and the prisoner says, fuck you, and I kind of get that. And here's a book that I've been looking for a long time, finally found it. How to Make Sure You Never Get Reincarnated on Planet Earth Ever Again. Please, can I not do this again? Oh my fucking God. And no amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. Mark Twain. No truer words have ever been spoken. Good morning. Here's your ticket for the day. Shit show. And that's how that rolls. We have, 8 Million Ways to Die. That was a very underrated movie. It was fantastic. Jeff Bridges and Rosanna Arquette before he had one of his many strokes. Sugar-free is often code for we replace the sugar with something even worse for you. True. Yeah, that's very true. And they're finding out stevia is not so good for you either.
Yep.
If you're disappointed because you haven't done anything on your bucket list, change B to F and you'll feel much better.
Ah, that's a good one.
That is
Fuck
a good
it.
one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And then we have Remember When. Remember When. And we need to put a piece of tape over Alyssa Milano.
I know. I don't know how she got her tape off her mouth, but we got to fix that.
Yeah, we do.
You seen her dancing videos? She's been putting dancing videos out.
Oh my God! I almost
It's so
puked.
bad.
She's taking Britney Spears classes. Poor Britney.
Yeah,
seriously.
she is.
Facebook, 1930. That was what it was. Anybody remember those days? My grandfather in Arkansas had one of those Facebooks. When Dad dressed us for school picture day, and yes, Pabst Blue Ribbon was a pattern, and I had one of those shirts. Oh my God! Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. Back in the day, that had to be in the 60s.
That's so crazy. I was watching the only Twilight Zone that was ever like banned. Like they wouldn't air it. They aired it the first time, and then they never aired it again, and it wasn't in the reruns. And I was gonna finish watching it tonight. I'll have to tell you what it is. Once
Let me know. 1970 AMC Gremlin. $1,879. You know what?
Nice.
I wouldn't have given them $20 for a Gremlin.
And it was cute green.
It was terrible.
Or baby shit brown. Those are the only two colors that came in.
We were young, wild, and free, never knowing we were living in the best days of our lives. I happen to agree with that. 1974, out socializing, listening to live music, and having a great time. 2025, glued to the fucking iPhone. And Shanda, I don't know about you, but my sister even had this. Our grandmas and aunts were all like, yes, the little coin purse with the cigarette pack holder and the lighter holder. Those were very efficient. Thursday nights, back June 14th, 1960-something, Dragnet. I remember Sergeant Friday on that show. That was a staple back then, was Dragnet. Just a couple more here, and then we've got that terrific outlet. Please stick around. Can you name this picture? What is this picture? And
I can. Mount St. Helens, 1980.
Oh yeah. Can you remember
May
the
1980?
Yeah, that was. That's Harry.
But
Truman.
my bigger question is that a Pinto towing a freaking Yamaha?
I don't know, but they're pointed the wrong direction. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
they are pointing in the wrong direction.
The Adventures of Superman, Sky King, the Roy Rogers Show, My Friend Flicka, the Lone Ranger, and Fury. These are circa 1950. And it did
way before my time.
It did bleed into 1960 a bit with Sky King. I know that for experience. And let me see, what do we got here? Oh, here I am. There I am. Now, don't get me wrong, but big tits to potato chips were a real thing. I remember I remember Bluebell barbecued potato chips coming in a box. They did come in a box. But
I kind of remember that too.
Yeah, but they still had a bag in the box, everybody. It wasn't just the bag was in the box. I assume they did that for marketing purposes because it takes up more shelf space. Now, this one kind of surprised me. Not Michael Keaton Batman. That was really great, too, by the way. 1930, Portland, Oregon. That's where I was born and raised, stomping grounds. They had a product called Man King Dog Food. It was a horse meat product. Now, what's unique about this is that dog food was good. It was advertised food for dogs, cats, for all carnivore animals, also a food for human consumption. Mankind is to his animals if he feels mankind food. The amount required for each meal depends upon the size and condition of the animal. And that was packed by Schlesler Brothers, Portland, Oregon. And I think I remember seeing some
poor
of that
horsies.
shit. Yeah, I mean, poor horsies. But that was kind of thing. So, and you know what? I don't have a problem with that at all because our dogs, if I can't eat it or wouldn't eat it, I wouldn't give it to my dog. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's just how I am.
Yeah.
And we make all of our dog food for our dogs. And Dharma's longevity has been incumbent on Joey making the best dog food. And
I believe that.
I believe that. Anyway, we're about out of here, and that outro is on its way. We're running 10 minutes long today, but
that's okay.
We're going out with a clip from a very beloved show, and it was one of my favorites when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. and that is Lassie. And they had several incarnations of Lassie. Because
Lassie was still in syndication when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was born in 74, so.
Yeah. And, again, I was in love with June Lockhart back then. As
what, Lassie? Timmy fell down the well.
I was in love. I wasn't a twisted little kid. I was in love with her as far as a mother figure. She was great. Anyway, here's the old Lassie commercial for all you older boomers like me. Here you go.
Starring June Lockhart, Hugh Riley, John Provost as Timmy, and, of course, Lassie.
Loved Lassie.
How many dogs played Lassie?
I think 7.
I was going to say, it couldn't have been the same dog. It was on for almost 20 years.
No, it was, I think they had 7. It's, it's like Hudson and Rex. They had 3 originally, and the one dog that played the original Hudson, he died 2 years ago. His name was Diesel Von something, and great dog. Everybody was crushed. I'm still crushed. But they had 2 of his nephews on the show to do some of the stunts, and I guess they promoted one of his nephews. So Joey and I love dog movies and things like that.
I don't, because they break my heart, and because a lot of times the dogs get hurt or killed.
No,
I can't handle animal movies. I can't watch any animal be hurt.
Hudson and Rex is written better than any cop show.
Yeah, Old Yeller ripped my soul out.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it. It made me cry.
Where the red fern grows. Oh my God, I still haven't recovered from that.
Oh yeah, I know. Talk about childhood trauma. Guess what, everybody?
Yeah.
It's that time of the year again, and we're going to be back on July. July?
I can't see my calendar.
I can't see my calendar here. It's the 4th. So
it would be
the 12th.
7 days after the 5th. Yeah, the 12th.
The 12th. And we're coming in with hot summer nights since it's already summertime, I believe. And we just took this time to do that, and we are going to be peeking outside to see if it's hot, and it's supposed to be hot. So it's going to be 90 next week here. Not when you're here, Shanda. It's going to be it's going to be like 75 when you're here. So you're going to be in good shape.
I saw that. I was like, oh, bummer. We got really nice weather all week. And then for the holiday weekend, it's going to be a little cloudy. But that's Washington State. We all know summer don't start here till July 5th. It always waits, but that's okay. I can't handle the heat anyways. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. You guys have been an awesome freaking chat.
Yes,
you guys have made me laugh, and you've
on
had
all platforms.
Very insightful things to say. Yeah, all of them are popping. Even the trailer park. We got a bunch hanging out over the trailer park.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us over there, and on the Rumble, and on the X, and on the Substack tonight. And shout out to our associate producer of this week, featured, that is Lady Al. Join us on the 12th to see if you are the next one that's going to be featured. We're just going to keep featuring new associate producers forever. I don't know if we're ever going to stop. I've been writing lists all day. Every time you guys are in the chat, I'm writing a list. So you'll have to join us to see who. And no show next Saturday because I am headed down to the land of Oz to kick it with Joey and Oz for 4th of July. We get to see Linda. I'm going to get to see Hawkified, and we're hoping Sister Amber will make an appearance. So I'll have lots of pictures, hopefully a little bit of video for you guys. And thank you guys so much, everybody who's donated. And if you want to help me out, hit the PayPal up or hit the GoFundMe and help fund my trip down to the land of Oz. I'm super excited.
I got a new subscriber over on Oz Unfiltered, Beauty and the
Nice.
Boomer. So,
Good job.
Substack. So thank you for subscribing over there. And as we get into fall, I'm going to be working more and more with Substack. New stuff coming out of there, and it's been wonderful tonight, guys. We won't belabor it anymore. I know you're just dying to see this outro.
Well,
because it's
join
great.
me
Monday
morning for Trailer Park Pundit, and a huge thank you to Metal Martin for all of the super chats and everybody else who donated tonight. We appreciate it.
We really do appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, please. Stay safe.
And a great holiday, since we're not going to see you.
Yeah, and Shanna's going to take a lot of pictures. So
I am.
We'll see you. Hope you love this outro, and I appreciate the compliments on the intro, by the way. I got a few of those, too.
It was awesome.
Thank you very much. Have a great everything, you guys. You're the best.
was an open book. You used to say, live and let live. You know you did, you know you did, you know you did. But in this ever-changing world in which we're living, makes you give it a try. To live and let die. Does it matter to you? You got a job to do, you gotta do it well. You got to give the other fella You used to say, live and let live. You know you did, you know you did, you know you did. But in this ever-changing world in which we live in, makes you give in and cry. To live and let die.
For your eyes only can see me through the night. For your eyes only, I never need to hide. You can see so much in me, so much in me that's new. For your eyes only, the nights are never cold. You really know me, that's all.